Dear colleagues, we would like to represent the result of our research about the strategy and tactics of the international digitalization and intellectualization of economic relations. In our article, we studied the strategy and tactics and examined the relationship between concepts based on such properties as priority, time period of action, essential affiliation, and others. Given the nature of the established relationship, a number of tactical approaches can be formed and implemented within the chosen strategy. In order to select them, the elements of the suffix tree method are used in following order: definition of attributes features of the selected strategy, information on the basis of the array key, detection of suffixes of an array of data of length n, the essence of which determinate the strategy, namely the array, construction of the suffix tree, selection of tactical approaches, moving from the roots of the suffix tree to any of its letter, ending in special sign. The practical implementation of the format method made it possible to identify tactical approaches to the digitalization of the economy. Keywords are strategy, tactics, tactical approaches, digitalization, intellectualization, and the suffix tree. We set following goals to our study. First, to explore the concept of strategy and tactics. To study the process of forming of tactical approaches. To analyze Ukrainians' digital strategy. To recommend tools for determination of tactical approaches, to strategy implementation using elements of the suffix tree. To test recommended approach using online modulation, tactical approaches to implement the strategy of digitalization. Let's move to the goal number 1, exploring the concept of strategy and tactics. The concept of strategy and tactics of enterprises has been studied in the works of such economists as Henry Mintzberg, Quinn, Goshal, Kuzmin, and others. We consider correlation between the concept of strategy and tactics, and we examine the relationship between this concept based on such properties as priority, time period of action, complexity, the essential affiliation. Based on the correlation between the concepts, we consider that tactics of the enterprise are logical continuation of its strategy. It is developed for short periods of up to 1 year in order to implement the strategy. Thus, tactics are a means of implementing a strategy that uses management tools, various ways for managerial influence, which ensure the implementation of strategic goals based on the use of enterprise resources, knowledge, skills, information, and others. Within the chosen strategy, it is possible to form and implement a number of tactical approaches, the choice of which is entrusted to managers of all levels of management. The goal number 2, studying the process of forming of tactical approaches. In order to choose tactics based on the format strategy, we recommend using the elements of the suffix tree method. On the figure 1, you can see the suffix tree to select the tactical approaches of array T. T means enterprise strategy that have 6 of attributes. Let's explain it. Using the elements of the suffix tree method, in order to select tactical approaches, it's necessary to identify significant components of the strategy, for example, attributes from T1 to T6. We conditionally consider them as suffixes, which will be the basis of the strategy suffix tree. The total number of attributes is taken as an array of data of length n requires 6, the essence of which determines the strategy T. Then we will divide received array into suffixes, the total number of which is actually 6. This so the strategy, the T means enterprise strategy, will have the following suffixes. You can see from T1 to T6. The goal number 3, analyzing of Ukraine's digital strategy. As you know, government approved the concept of development of the digital economy and society of Ukraine for 2015 till 2020 and approved the action plan for its implementation. Implementation of the digital strategy named by Digital Agenda of Ukraine 2020 involves the elimination of barriers of digital transformation of Ukraine in the most promising areas. This is achieved by stimulating of the economy, of attracting investment, overcoming of digital inequality, deepening of cooperation with the European Union in the digital sphere, as well as building the country's innovation infrastructure and digital transformation. With the help of the suffix tree, we form a system of tactical approaches and perform a search of system element using the appropriate algorithm. The essence and score of the suffix tree we have considered about. Recall the I suffix of the array text series T is a suborder element. The entire text array T consists of the sets of suffixes of length n. In order to form a system of tactical approaches on enterprises using elements of the suffix tree method, we adopted a text series of attributed of digital strategy of an array of T. For example, T equal digital strategy. Then we define its main attributes as stimulating of the economy, attracting investment, overcoming digital inequality, deepening cooperation with the European Union in digital sphere, building the country's innovation infrastructure, and finally the digital transformation. Let's move to the goal number 4, recommending tools for determination of tactical approaches to strategy implementation using elements of the suffix tree. In order to construct the suffix tree, we use an online algorithm developed in 1992 by Akon. This is the one of the possible algorithm for construction of the suffix tree, which was formed on the basis of the first proposed algorithm of the suffix tree developer Peter Weiner, and the left-right algorithm, which was developed by Marharyta. When applying the algorithm, the suffix array receives the appropriate order, which will consider of the example of digital strategy. For its application, we will represent the array of attributes of digital strategy is one word, consisting of the first letter of the attributes outlined as by T equal SAODDT. They are codes of elements of the array text series, the content of which is disclosed on the table 2. You can see the suffixes, the context of the tactical approaches, and the group suffix. The goal number 5, testing of recommended approach using the online modulation tactical approaches to implement the strategy of digitalization. We use obtained suffixes of digital strategy to build tactical approaches to digitalization of the economy through the online modulator located at Alizon Sport. The obtained results are displayed using figure 2. As conclusion, we would like to recommend to identify tactical approaches of the strategy by using elements of the suffix tree method in following order. Definition of attributes, features of selected strategy, information of their basis, the array T, detection of suffixes on an array, of data offline n, the essence of which determined the strategy, namely the array construction of the suffix tree, then finally selection of tactical approaches, moving from the roots of the suffix tree to any of its letter ending in special sign. And by using online modulation, it's possible to identify tactical approaches to implement of each strategy, as we did for strategy of digitalization online, and it would help uh, with result of the strategic planning on enterprise.